Shauna, first of all, a very warm welcome to the new Saints.
Thank you.
We'll come to the present in due course, but shall we go back in time? You were born in Wigan, supported Wigan Athletic, and you were a very committed supporter and fan, weren't you?
Yeah, I was. Started watching Wigan toddler age, going with my dad, my brothers, my granddad. My whole family are Wigan fans, so it's something that don't really think we had a choice at a young age. We're Wigan through and through, and it's something that my dad, my brothers, my granddad still go to now. Obviously, it's a bit difficult for me because I have football on the weekends myself, but when I can go, I do go along and support them, so it's good.
And as a young girl, you started to play football yourself as well.
Yeah, so I started, I think it was around 6. Luckily enough, never had to play for boys teams or anything like that. Always stayed in the girls' game, and then around 12 got picked up at Blackburn Rovers. So spent about 5-6 years there through their Centre of Excellence. Went on to a full-time programme at college, a bit like a scholarship programme, and then unfortunately got injured with my ACL. I've done that twice. Had quite a few knee surgeries, so very quickly stopped playing and then turned my focus to coaching.
And how did the connection with Blackburn Rovers initially come around?
I think at the time it was just trials, so we're playing grassroots football, and then you sign up for trials, you go to a big event on a weekend, and then there'll be hundreds and hundreds of girls there. So I'd go with my dad, he'd take me along, and you might do maybe 4 sessions with them over the space of a month, and then at the end you either get offered a contract or you don't, essentially. And then luckily for me, I got offered Blackburn, Liverpool, and then chose Blackburn just because of the setup and the players that were there. It was a really good environment to be involved in, so that's how I made the move into Blackburn Rovers.
And are there many highlights that you look back on during the time with Blackburn?
Yeah, it on reflection now, it was a long time, the 6 years that I was there, but then looking back now, it was the best club I could have chose to go to, and the sort of players that were in and around the club, like Kira Walsh, Georgia Stanway, people like that are now Lionesses. It shows how good Blackburn was for that youth development phase and trying to get players through to the professional stage, and the club was committed to me and I was committed to them, and ultimately that's where I stopped playing football. I didn't really play anywhere else beyond that.
And when you picked up the injury, how disappointing was it knowing that you wouldn't be able to play football again?
Yeah, it was heartbreaking. At the time, I probably didn't realise the effect it would have. But then on reflection, I tried to get playing after the first ACL injury. Just never felt the same again for me, unfortunately. So then it was more playing casually. And then the second time round, when I did the ACL again, it was like, no, actually, hang up the boots now. At 18, unfortunately, I had to retire, and then, like I said before, quickly got into coaching, which I'm so grateful for now.
And was coaching something that you'd previously thought about, maybe at the end of your career, or was it something that came up due to the circumstances?
Yeah, I'd never even thought about coaching. I think in the back of my mind, I always thought I'd be a PE teacher or something like that, being involved in sports, but I'd never thought about coaching. And then when I got injured, at the time I was the captain at the under-16s at Blackburn, so my coach said, you've got to travel this way for physio, so why don't you come and coach as well? So I started with the under-9s there, volunteering on the evenings. Again, my dad would bring me, so without my dad as well, taking me to these training sessions and physio sessions, I really wouldn't be where I am now.
I think it's really important, isn't it, with yourself, you've just mentioned it, but also players as well, to give reference to parents who are faithfully taking their children around wet nights and long weekends and sticking with them through the thick and the thin.
Yeah, of course. And I think it was only last year I spoke to my dad about my injury and the impact that it had on him, and it's a conversation I've not had for 10 years. And then it came up with it around the family dinner table, and I didn't realise how much the injury affected him as well, that it had gone from supporting his daughter, playing football most evenings, every weekend, to nothing. And I thought it only affected me and I was the moody one at home, but actually it was both of us, and it was a big change for both of us. And now he comes and watches me coach, and he'll watch games that I coaching, managing, and for him it is different because I'm not on the pitch, but essentially it's my team, my players that are out there, and he comes and supports them as well.
And at what stage did you think with the coaching, we'll come through your coaching career in a moment, but at what stage did you think to yourself, this could become my chosen career, a full-time career one day?
Because I was so young, I was only 16 at the time, I still had it in my head that I was going to be a footballer. And then after the second injury, when I knew it didn't feel quite the same, that's when I thought I've got an opportunity now at 18 to really throw myself in head first, give it a good go. And luckily, being so young, other coaches paved the way for me. Where sometimes I look at people now and they try and get into coaching and they're 20, 25, 30 years old, and I already had that 10 years experience at that point. So I'm quite lucky that it happened at quite a young age, and I'd say only in the last 5 years or so where I've been doing it full time, it's made me realise I could actually have this as a career for long-term future plans.
And then your career path took you to Liverpool.
Yeah. So after Blackburn, I did a couple of years working there, and then there was quite a staff change around. So then my old boss at the time took me across to Liverpool, changed age groups, so I started working up the age groups in the ladder, and then took the under-13s there. The girls at Liverpool were fantastic. There's quite a lot of girls now that are in the England pathway and playing for the Liverpool first team and things like that, and I look back now and they were only tiny when I first worked with them, where now they're playing in Champions League games, WSL games, and it's amazing to see. So I'm grateful for the time at Liverpool, and being there for 6 years saw me work through the ladder, not only at the 13s, but I finished in around the 16s, the 21s environment. So it was definitely a good place to learn and to grow with the club as well.
And then after your time with Liverpool, you spread your wings and you went to Dubai.
Yeah, so that was during COVID. So when everything was at a standstill here, things in Dubai were a little bit different. So things had started to ease and stuff like that. And when the opportunity came around to be on the grass coaching, I think no matter where in the world it was going to be, I was going to take that opportunity because I was stuck at home doing nothing. So the real reason to go to Dubai was a new culture, meet new people, throw myself in the deep end again and go and learn something new, but at the same time get myself back into coaching rather than sitting at home during COVID.
Then it was back to England and fairly close to home where we are now, Shrewsbury Town.
Yeah, so I did nearly 2 years in Dubai, and then a couple of things changed, missing home life, things like that. So then when I came back to England, I wasn't really bothered about where in England I was going to work. It was more the opportunity, and when the full-time role came up at Shrewsbury Town, it was too exciting to turn down, and that's what brought me back, essentially being able to work full-time in football and again try and make that career from coaching.
And how important have the various moves that you've made in coaching been in terms of where you are now?
Yeah, I'm grateful for every opportunity that I've taken because it's taught me something new. Typically within the women and girls game, you tend to do a dual role. So I've always had a coaching role to make sure I keep my feet on the grass, but at the same time I've had to tie it into something else. So whether that's a operations manager, academy manager, overseeing a football department, I like the idea of this dual role of being able to coach but also a bit of management time as well, and overseeing programs. So I think without the different journeys and the different pathways that I took along the way, I probably wouldn't be where I am now in terms of being able to oversee a whole department.
Well, you've certainly had an exciting journey thus far, and that continues because now you're at Parkhall again. How did that connection come around?
Yeah, it wasn't something I was looking for. It's something that sort of got brought to my attention, and through conversations with Greg and Ian, it very quickly turned into something that was really exciting. Like I said, I think the application went out a few months prior. I saw it but wasn't sure yet whether I was ready to make a move, and then through those little conversations it turned into a project that I was really excited about and wanted to get stuck into straight away. So without those informal conversations and coming down and seeing the players and looking at the venue, that essentially ticks all the boxes for me, and it made it something that I wanted to move into.
And although you were in Dubai for a while, pretty much as a player and as a coach, you've worked in England. How much did you know about the setup in Wales before you came to the New Saints?
Yeah, it's something that I followed just at a distance. Typically from working at all the English clubs and stuff like that, naturally you follow the WSL and the Championship and things like that. But as soon as these conversations started to happen, it was let's do the research, let's make sure it's something that's going to be exciting, and very quickly looking at the previous results and seeing the growth that TNS have had in the last 18 months, I knew it was something that's definitely on the rise and something on the increase, which for me that's exciting because it is a project. It's not something that's already ready-made, it's something that's going to grow with me, hopefully alongside Greg and the rest of the players.
And your remit is to work with the girls and the women's side of football. What particular things interested you that made you put pen to paper?
Yeah, ultimately it is a blank canvas, and that's been quite an honest conversation with different people at the club, that from my experience and from my knowledge and understanding of the game, at all age groups, from the under-9s way back at Blackburn to working at the women's team at Shrewsbury, I do have that depth of knowledge from multiple age groups, and I think coming here and being given a blank canvas ultimately gives me that scope to make changes and implement new strategies and ideas, which the club have been in desperate for quite a while now. And I think working alongside Greg, he's paved the way for so many years here at the club, and it's ultimately coming in and supporting him. But most importantly, working with the girls that are already in here and how we can grow this women and girls pathway to be a sustainable club as well as the biggest club in the area.
And one of the positive projects that's been going on for a while has been the scholarship for the boys with North Shropshire College, whereby when they leave school at 16, they continue in education, but they also get to train, to play competitive football. Now the exciting thing is that is now being transferred, well, it's been duplicated to the girls' side as well. Yeah,
again, that is something that's exciting. It's not going to start this September, so ultimately I see it as I've got 12 months to make that programme a strong programme, help with the recruitment of it, go and meet the guys at the college, and they're the things that I'm excited for. But ultimately, when the club are saying that they're happy to mirror the boys setup for the girls, you have to be excited by that, and it's a club that actually values the women and girls pathway and put the girls at the forefront of everything that the boys want to do as well. So targeting that age group from 16 to 19, increasing participation at that age, and ultimately giving them a platform to train full time like a professional athlete, it is what's only going to benefit the women's team in a couple of years' time when those players naturally progress through.
Well, I've certainly enjoyed our conversation this afternoon. Thank you for the insight into your life, where you've been, where you are now, and of course, where you're going to go in the future as well. And again, a very warm welcome from all of us at the New Saints, and welcome to Park Hall.
Thank you.